Hello everybody, this is Fronto Bob here, welcome back to Train Simulator 2019. Today's another one of those streams indeed. Yep, today's another special where we drive from one part of the line to the other. Yes, and don't worry, this time I don't plan on gallivanting off at the worst possible time and then having to delete the live stream later because said soul security. So, today's going to be an interesting live stream. Today's going to be the East Coast Main Line York to Newcastle. So basically, we're going to be continuing on with the journey that we ended, a little while back when we did the East Coast Main Line from Peterborough to York. This is basically going from York to Newcastle. So, yeah. So now I have quite a bit of the East Coast Main Line in my hands. Now I got the part from London to Peterborough, then Peterborough to York, then York to Newcastle. Of course, the last piece of the puzzle that I'm missing is Newcastle to Edinburgh. But that part of the line was made by Just Trains, so I'm not going to be touching that line with a 10-foot pole, So hopefully someone either makes a revamped versions of Just Trains' Newcastle to Edinburgh route, or someone makes a better version of that route, or I'm never going to be touching that part of the route, which would be a bit of a shame, because that part of the route actually goes into Forza Horizon 4, Forza's UK map. So, oh well. I can at least tell you that there's gonna be an interesting, run. This is the, this is the by the way, this is the DP simulation route going from York to Newcastle Modern. This isn't, don't worry, this isn't the Just Trains version, the really terrible one made by Just Trains. This is the, like I said, the DP simulation one, which I believe is good. Yeah, this is actually one that I downloaded straight from the DP simulation website. If you want to get for this route yourself, then it would require the East Coast Main Line route, the original East Coast Main Line route from York to Newcastle, the Cuju one, and it also requires the Great Eastern Main Line for the sake of other assets. You know what's interesting? I've actually owned both of those DLCs for over a year now, and yet I haven't even touched the default the Cuju East Coast Mainline one, and I also, I did actually, of course, did the Great Eastern Mainline route at one point in time, and I actually bought both of those DLCs in preparation to get this East Coast Mainline route, which I didn't even get until recently, and I haven't even touched it until today. So this is going to be an interesting one. So I get to drive another portion of the East Coast Main Line, which is my favorite line in Britain. I have been a fan of the East Coast Main Line since the beginning, though. By beginning I mean since I became a fan of British trains, and since I collected a lot more British trains for Train Simulator. Yeah. So. Of course, once again, top your sausages. So, Domtron said he was gonna. Well, currently I don't know where Russell or Domtron are. Domtron said he was gonna be here later, although he hasn't really given me a time when. He is currently offline according to Steam, so I'm guessing either he's just being lazy, or he's going out somewhere. He did say he was gonna be read later today, so I don't know. If he's implying he's going to be read sometime during the live stream, or sometime after that. Who knows, maybe he's even watching this live stream right now, and yet I have no idea. I don't know. Either way, this is going to be a very interesting live stream. And, who knows, maybe someday in the future I'll find some way to join up all three portions of these Coast Main Line I own, and I'll drive them all in one single stream. That'll be quite interesting. I do hope someone eventually makes a joined up version of the East Coast, or the entire East Coast Main Line, of course, without doing a rubbish job at the portion Newcastle to Edinburgh, Like, I thought that the London to Peterborough portion was quite nice. Then Peterborough to York was alright, I suppose, and now there's this version of the East Coast Main Line, which I'm about to drive. Hey there, Timmy's Train. Welcome to the show. Train Simulator. What train are we driving? Well, you'll find out shortly when we actually jump into the actual game. in about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right about now. Let's see if... there we go. Train to Morse Tank. And here we are at York, or is this York? No, this is... Yeah, I believe this is York, which is where we left off last time. And here's the trains for the day. Of course, I put the Intercity, or Class 91 down for good mention, but today we're driving this bad boy right here, the good old HST. And this is actually a reskin, which I'll talk about shortly. But yeah, today we're driving the good old HST in the East Coast livery, which is actually part of a reskin pack that I downloaded, or Domtron showed to me a little while back, and I'll explain that shortly. But yeah, so driving the HST in East Coast. And of course, I also put down the Class 91 in the East Coast livery as well, just for good measure. Yeah, I'm driving the entire route from York to Newcastle in the modern route by DP simulation. So without further ado, let's head out. This train's a little bit loud, so I might have to turn down the... Actually, what's the volume of the game I said to? And I've turned the volume down just a bit. It's loud. It's loud. It's loud. Also, like how our train is clipping to the platform. Yeah. So here we go, East Coast Main Line, York to Newcastle Modern, a route by DP simulation. Yeah. So this train here is actually part of a reskin pack, and reskin pack that Domtron showed me. This is basically part of a reskin pack where, or not reskin pack, but UK train sim pack where, you know, all the best developers of UK train sim came together and made one big sort of thingy pack for train sim, as Domtron described when I did the IC 3.5 live stream. And Domtron would be able to explain it here if he was alive, but he's not, so I'm having to explain myself and doing a not so good job at it. Anyway, this was one of the trains that was included in that reskin pack, or pack in general, which I thought was quite nice, you know. When I actually first saw this reskin, I you know, was all excited about, because, you know, it was East Coast Mainline, and I'm a big fan of the East Coast Mainline, and so I really like this livery. Also, I like, is this bridge, yeah, this bridge is invisible. Oh dear. Yeah, I made sure that I owned the necessary assets for this route. So, I don't know why there's invisible bridges. I'm guessing... Well, actually I don't know what to guess. So yeah, default crew, you see we're driving today. You know. But again, I do like this livery though. This livery looks really cool. I don't know why, but I think it just does. Like the gray, like this livery, it's simple but it works. And these coaches are their own East Coast reskin. These aren't ones from the London Peterborough route. Oh, no passing view apparently. Okay, fair enough then. I also like how there's no sounds from the coaches because they're supposed to be, you know. Also, yeah, I like how this East Coast this part of the East Coast mainline looks very similar to the York to Peterborough East Coast mainline that we drove not too long ago. I'm guessing there's like almost the whole East Coast mainline, where it's just 4 tracks that go next to a bunch of farmlands. Okay, well now it's gonna go into 2 tracks. At least one on the right side of the road this time. So according to trains, we take about 48 minutes to get there, so this might be a shorter train sim stream. Yeah, because the East Coast, because the York to Peterborough was about 112 miles. This is only about 76 or so miles. No, that's more than that. It's about 80 or so miles long. Yeah. So basically now I have 2 versions of the East Coast main line between York and Newcastle, where now I have this portion of the East Coast main line set in the modern day, and also I have the default Cuju East Coast main line, which is set in the 1970s. Basically when the HST was a brand new thing and the Class 55 was still in service and BR Blue was still a thing. But now that's long gone. Well, I say this is the modern version of the East Coast main line. Well, technically today's East Coast main line, today's East Coast main line we're driving is technically set in the year 2011 or 2012ish, when East Coast was the branding or the main brand that ran the East Coast main line. That was up until 2015 when Virgin Trains took over the East Coast main line, and all the trains were painted into the VTEC red. That is still present today as of LNER taking over the East Coast main line. You know, because, you know, that was interesting, because when Virgin Trains took over the East Coast main line in 2015, all the trains were repainted into the red Virgin Trains East Coast livery. But then in 2018, when LNER took over the East Coast main line, you know, all the trains were kept in the Virgin Trains East Coast livery that they already had, except any Virgin logos were just replaced with LNER logos. You know, and that was interesting because, you know, the East Coast main line now, I've realized, been under several owners in the past considerable amount of time, where I think after Inner City Swallow did run the East Coast main line back in the 1980s, or possibly the 1990s as well, then GENR, I think it was, took over the East Coast main line, and all the trains were painted into like a black livery, or black with white stripes and red doors. You know that livery? Yeah, so the trains were painted to that livery, and that lasted until about 2010 or 2011 or something like that, when then East Coast took over the franchise of the East Coast main line, and all the trains were painted into this livery that you see here. And, well, the rest is history. Although, well, I really do like this livery as well. You know, I think my favorite livery that's ever existed on the East Coast main line is LNER of today. You know, I mean, LNER Rebel Green is nice, and so is BR Blue and it's well. Well, to be fair, all paint schemes that have existed on the East Coast main line, all of them are nice, but my personal favorite is LNER of today. Yeah. Also, good job with the horn on that by me. And yeah, so this part of the East Coast main line is now becoming really similar to the East Coast main line from York to Peterborough, where it's just 4 tracks, and the scenery is mostly just farmlands. I mean, yeah, I know I'm driving this at night in the wintertime, but it's still mostly farmlands. Oh well. Well, yeah, apart from that disappeared bridge from the beginning, there's still no signs of any missing assets. We're almost 125. You know, looking at, I really like this livery. Like, it's just perfect. You know? Although, yeah, I know earlier I said LNER is my most favorite. I think this would be my second favorite, though. Like, it's such a simple design, yet it works so well. I know there's only one of two different versions of the East Coast paint job for the HST where some of the Class 43s were painted to look like the coaches in a way, like this, as seen with London Peterborough, while others were painted into this livery right here, which is a similar design. And then there were the Class 91s, though, where the entirety of the train were painted into this style livery, as you saw at the beginning of the stream. Yeah. You know, I am quite glad that Domtron showed me the UKTS pack, especially with this livery included. Otherwise, I probably would have used the East Coast livery that came with the London Peterborough route. Which I wouldn't have had any problem with doing that, but driving this livery at least gives me a chance to sort of advertise this UKTS pack, which would have been advertised better if Dom's was here, but I don't know where he is at right now. Although according to Steam, he's currently offline, so I'm guessing he's out somewhere. Then he doesn't say where, but whatever. Okay, well, so far this journey has been mainly just farmlands, not really much scenery. Although I'm guessing that is the UK in a nutshell. Flat grounds with mostly farmlands. It makes me glad that Playground Games were smart about Forza Horizon 4 and their UK map, where it was really on the north and some of it went into Scotland, which had the Scottish Highlands, so it created some really interesting looking scenery on the north of the map for Forza Horizon 4, and then there's the south map, which is mostly flat lands, like you're seeing right now with farmlands. Like apart from London, Forza Horizon 4 map is really the UK in a nutshell. Whereas, if they set the map in like the middle of the UK or the bottom of the UK, the map then would have been a bit stale. Especially with London, they would have had to do so much for London, so honestly, it really makes me glad with the direction that Playground Games did go with the Forza Horizon 4 map. As for this map that I'm driving now, well, I can't entirely appreciate the scenery, considering that I'm driving in the wintertime and it is at 5 o'clock in the... well, if this was in the summer, it would be 5 o'clock in the evening. Well, it technically is the evening. Also, how in my live streams or train sim live streams I've been doing, where I've been setting the ground to be snow, even though it's not actually snow? Well, recently, we actually got a snowstorm here, where I live locally. So now, what you're seeing here in Train Simulator is actually representative of what I can see outside of my bedroom window. Basically snow everywhere. Also, like how I've just been going full throttle for the majority of this journey. At least the speed limit has remained consistent. Although now we haven't reached the speed limit, as you can see. Okay, are we still speeding? Okay, let's at least maintain 125. Ooh, this is, station is this. Thirsk. Like, you know, I should have done a flyby camera here. Also, I believe that's actually like the default Kuchin model. You know. Well, so far this has been a relaxing journey. Just relaxing at 125 miles per hour, driving a train that might not be around sometime shortly. In fact, realistically, on the East Coast Main Line, you know, they are beginning to, or they do plan to retire the HSTs and Class 91s in favor of the Class 801 Izuma, or Izuma, is that how it's called, I think? I'm not sure. Although now I think about it, so this is, of course, the East Coast Main Line Modern of, you know, of today. This is really what should have been the East Coast Main Line route from New York to Peterborough by Creative Rail. Oh well. Because this version of the East Coast Main Line, you know, can probably be used if you were to make a scenario set in today with, you know, LNER and see what other railway runs along this route. Good question. Also, I can't remember if I took a screenshot or not, but just in case I didn't, I'm gonna take a screenshot now. Yeah, never mind, I didn't take a screenshot already. If I didn't though, I'm gonna have to do this again, so yay! It will maintain 60% throttle now, I suppose. Also, look how there's no passenger view on this version of the HST. Oh well. Into Longlands. I wonder if we'll pass by Darlington. I know Darlington is a part of this map. I'll get conversation, but no change speed limit. This is North Fowlerton. Apologize if I messed up the pronunciation on that. Yeah, my British pronunciations aren't really the best, as you can tell. Let's see what the station looks like up here. Well, it's an interesting complex. Actually, let's go out here. So it goes off from there. And then the line goes into 2 tracks. This is an interesting tunnel crossover type thing. And it's blasting right through the States. Oh, we're not done yet. More interesting complexes. Heck yeah. And there we go. I will say I am kind of liking this route so far. But, you know, I can't appreciate this route in its full extent because it's, you know, like I said, it's, you know, it's a thing. So, yeah. You know what's interesting? This route exists now that I'm driving on, and yet the one made by Just Trains is still available. Like, you can still buy the East Coast Main Line modern route, you know, from Newcastle to York, done by Just Trains, which is basically a fully modified version of one of the default Kuju routes. Honestly, just don't buy that route. It's really it's really better value for you to just get the, you know, get the East Coast Main Line York to Newcastle from Steam, you know, the Kuju one, and then get the Great Eastern Main Line. You know, it's really better value to just buy those than, you know, to invest in Just Trains is really rubbishly done route. You know, like, this route is nice. I do like it. Oh, so far. Oh, balls! Wait. Oh, wait. Uh-oh, oopsie daisy. Wait a second. Inspection time. Oops, floating track. Whoopsie daisy, I don't like the look of that. Okay, why are we floating? Why is the... What the heck is going on? Okay, everything's level, but... Okay, well, that was really weird. For some reason, we just went up in the air again. You see, this is proper now. Oh, so this is a third-party route that I downloaded from DP Simulation. I might make any necessary fixes to this route, because I do plan to use this route for a few things. But if I'm gonna use it for those things, I'm gonna need the route to look nice and not all weird and wonky and stuff. So, yeah. I wonder if Mr. DP Simulation actually noticed that, or maybe he put the route up and didn't realize that some of the track wasn't visible and some of the bridges were non-existent as well. Something like that. I don't know. At least the can area is done nicely. I also like how, like I said before, I like how the speed limit is just consistently 125 miles per hour. Like, the speed limit has literally not changed since it... Oh. Wow, of course. Oh well, no big deal. It's only dropping 10 miles per hour. Also, at least near they're flying birds in the air. I'm about to go nuts. Okay, we'll probably a little bit of break. Just for good measure. And there we go. Also, what's interesting that, you know, this thing is so loud because... Oh, there's a sharp curve, okay. See why the speed limit dropped to 115 now. Even though I'm not even sure 115 is low enough. I believe the speed limit should be a bit lower, but there we go, so make it 225 after that. Oh, great. I was going to say something, but I can't remember what it was. Lovely. Oh, well, probably wasn't anything important. This is anything. Ooh. That's a nice looking viaduct. Yep, I was gonna say something now. I can't remember what it was. Ah, I knew it was something interesting, but whatever. It'll come back. It'll probably come back to me eventually. Oh, that's gonna go down to 90. Okay. Oh, now we're coming up on Darlington. Although smelling trackage done, as you see here. Also, anything we missed around on this portion of the route? A couple bridges, but nothing serious. Also, apparently split into 3 tracks now, and no, it's not too much. Okay. So, I want to have a quick look at Darlington while we're here. Is this the same default Kuja model? I think it is actually. Yep. Ancient fact about Darlington. It was actually used on. Well, it's actually a station on Domtron's route. You know, originally we were going to use this model of Darlington, but it looked so rubbish that we were like, we'll just toss in the bin and instead we'll make our own version of Darlington. Which I'd say would work out better. Yeah, of course, there is some parts of this route that I'm missing, such as stuff over here and over there and here and there and everywhere. But, yeah, I believe DP Simulation did build that in just for the fun of it, but, I would say progress is a good measure, you know. Also, thank goodness that, you know, the Kuju sound doesn't play here on this route. It sounds, utterly disgusting. So, thank you to DP Simulation for not including that silly default Kuju stuff, or Kuju noises, you know. I'll go down to 95 again. Also, that tunnel looks, or that bridge looks really close to the track. Yeah, so I have a 95 and an 85. Fair enough then. Oh! That's just warning us about the speed limit going down. It's only going down just a tiny bit though. So, no big deal. That goes back to 115 apparently. Okay. I will say DP Simulation did a nice job of modernizing this route. Well, much better than Just Trains did. Actually, I don't really know what Just Trains' version of this route looks like. But to be fair, I really don't want to know. It's probably really bad. And this route will do me nicely. I definitely plan to come back to this route in the future to do some other things. Well, I plan to do that with all 3 ports, and these because mainland on their own. But only time will tell. Yeah. In fact, maybe someday I'll do the full portion of these because mainland actually have going from Newcastle to London, or maybe the other way around. Maybe London to Newcastle. I don't really know. We'll see. I might even try to find some way to join up all 3 of these routes together and have the entire East Coast Main Line going from London to Newcastle. I wish I could go all the way to Edinburgh, but that portion of my East Coast Main was so crudely done by Just Trains. Whoops, floating trees. You can tell, as good as route looks, it's not perfect. There are a few errors here and there that you may need to correct yourself. So 29 miles to go to Newcastle. I might also tackle this route with the Class 91 just because. As for these other parts of the route, I'll drive them someday. Maybe in a live stream. Who knows? You know, maybe I'll drive this route someday in the same style of the Lines in Glasgow live stream, where I drive portions of the route that you can't properly or can't actually see, or wouldn't see if you just. Well, you know what I mean. You wouldn't see if you just stuck to the main line. I might even redo the Lines in Glasgow someday, just because of the original stream I did on that being sausagey. Well, that's what happens. Yeah, I like how there's literally no run sounds on the coaches. Of course, that wouldn't be an issue if this had the option power sensor pack installed, but it doesn't. Oh yeah, that reminds me of the end of the thing sounds I was gonna say earlier. So, what's interesting about here about Train Sim is that this is the MTU version of HT. Because well, okay, here's the thing. So there are actually multiple engine versions of the HT. There's the Valenta and Paxman engine thing and Bob. There's the MTU and there's the BP185. This version of HT is supposed to be the MTU version of the HT, as you can see by the headlights. But because Kuja Entertainment were so lazy way back in the day that they just copied and pasted the Valenta sound across all the HTs, because you know, because well, to be fair, you do get the HT in multiple liveries with the European Local and Asset Pack. And most of them are the Valenta engine, and some are the MT, or there's one the MTU, and there's the, well, anyway, as I was saying earlier, there's the Valenta, there's the MTU, and there's the VP185, and all those engines sound different actually, not too much different, but different, you know, because the thing about the Valenta is that it's loud and fast and sausagey, whereas there's the MTU, which is a little bit quieter and more suited for modern day routes, and then there's VP185, which I don't know much about, to be honest. Ooh, there's an interesting. Ooh, there's an interesting part of the route. All this stuff. Ooh, there's a car there. This part of the line looks interesting. Also, there's a really cool view. Oh, there's those buffers there. Is that realistic, or is that just there for giggles? Or bearers or something? Probably both. Might be. Also, I like how in this area there's just a couple of hills with nothing on them. Well, 21 miles to Newcastle. So pretty soon we'll have driven the entire length of this round. Oh, there's a 100 speed limit. I remember earlier when I said that the speed limit was really consistent. Yeah, it's changed now on this part of the East Coast Main Line. Although definitely someday in the future I will do a thing where I drive the East Coast Main Line all the way from Newcastle to London or the other way. And like I said before, if I'm crazy enough, I'll try to join up all three routes together, just so we can do the entire route in one scenario. And that is especially possible with 64-bit Train Sim. And I am willing to do the entire distance, you know. And that wouldn't even be my longest stream ever. You know. You know, I really hope that somebody makes a better version of the East Coast Main Line from Newcastle to Edinburgh. Like, if someone could make a proper version of that route, I would totally buy it or download it if it's a free thing. Or if it's a free route but it requires some other assets, then I'll just buy whatever assets are needed. Oh, there's a sharp corner. Why is the speed limit here 200 miles per hour? Doesn't that a little bit extreme? Yeah, is it just me or is the speed limit too high for that corner? Gee, I don't know. You never see some really windy parts of the East Coast Main Line. Parts of which are two-track sections, or is a two-track section. You actually remember the Nerd Cubed? You know, when he played Train Simulator 2015? I remember when he did a scenario on the Kuju version of this route. We went from Darlington to Newcastle and back again. Oops, more floating trees. And is that floating? No, it's not floating. It's hanging. So it's at least somewhat realistic. Or it looks somewhat realistic. In fact, that's not floating in the air. It's actually hanging in the air on the bridge, as you saw. Anyway, so back to the engine sounds I was talking about before. So, yeah, there is a difference between the VP. Well, there's especially a difference between the Valenta and the MTU. Although Kuj Entertainment didn't even acknowledge this, and they just copied and pasted the Valenta sounds onto the MTU HST. And Dovetail still did that, you know. Like with the GWR HST that you get with the Bristol to Cardiff route. That's a GWR. That's an HT that was enhanced in this. Well, it wasn't really enhanced. It was, although it was modified. Where the Mark III codes were actually given run sounds that were actually good, I would say. But they didn't even change up the sounds. In fact, I believe what they did is that they either what they did with the Valenta sounds from the GWHST they get with not Southern Carlisle with Bristol to Cardiff. With that HST, either they lower the sounds of the Valenta sounds to make it sound quieter and somewhat more realistic, or they didn't actually do anything at all. And I am aware of the Armstrong Powerhouse sound packs, but I'm probably not going to get any of those. Ooh, what's this? Well, this is an interesting section of the East Coast Main Line. I figure they should go into a tunnel in a few seconds. No tunnel. No, it's literally just... I don't even know what it is. Oh, looks like that was some kind of valley that they had to dig through. It's like a lake track through there. This bridge looks quite nice. Ooh, we're coming up on Durham, and we're speeding again. Durham. Where is it? Couldn't find the station name in time, but I guess speed limit here is only 100 or 175 miles per hour. That goes up to 90. What is the name of the state? I want to make a stupid joke. Durham. What's over here? Nothing. Oh, wait, come back. Well, 13 miles to go. Overall, there's been another flawless journey. Oh yeah, I feel like the speed limit for those curves there is a bit too high. I feel like it would be lower in real life, or maybe it actually is that in real life, and they actually send their trains to these corners at such a high speed, which would be very, honestly, be quite uncomfortable for the passengers. So all the stuff would be thrown to one side. Might be able to show this if this version of the HC had pads view, but it doesn't because of reasons. Came pretty soon up to the 115-mile-an-hour speed limit. Well, I didn't even speak for a second there. Oh well, let's go to Newcastle. So this route, it's, I'd say, in terms of scenery, it's basically up to par with the York to Peterborough route. Mostly just farmlands and empty landscapes with not really much to see. Of course, maybe that changes for the parts of this route that were extended by Mr. DP Simulation. Oh, wait, no. I'll probably drive those some other time. I think for now, though, I'll actually stick to the main line. That depends. Oops. Invisible bridge. We'll come up on, ooh, Chesterless Street. That's another one I remember from the video that NerdCube did. Oh, is this the place where there was like that I don't remember. But yeah, Chesterless Street. It's a pretty stylish station name. You know, this gives me a good idea. I need to make a mental note of the station name because, you know, I can definitely ask Domtron to make the, oh. Is it just me, or what if we derailed if we went any faster that corner? What is it with all these corners, man? Here's Chesterless Street, and I was like how the platform's not even long enough to contain the entire train. Oh, nice viaduct. I can see over the town-ish. Ooh, I like that. How the things. I got a good screenshot. Well, some most good in Newcastle. 7.8. That bridge looks really interesting. Also, yeah, more jolting because reasons. Oh, it's a people bridge. Some other stuff. Ooh, there's that, there's this horse racing course or whatever it is. I'd make a joke about it if I wasn't driving a train right now. But there's that horse running course thing that I saw on the NerdCube video. You know, what if I made a remake of that video, except on this route with this train, and I remade the scenario to work on this route or something. Just for jokes and memes. You know, that... Actually, you know, now I think about it, that scenario, like, okay, you know that Need for Speed scenario that you get with the Kuju East Coast Main Line? What if, you know, what if I remade that scenario on this route with all the modern trains, you know? And of course, to keep with the Need for Speedness, that would, instead of driving an HST, you would instead be driving a Class 801, because that's actually new. and then all the trains that you would see on that Need for Speed scenario would instead, well, they would be basically the same trains that you would see on this route in this, or if you were seeing a scenario on this route, except of course they would be like modern trains, or yeah, modern trains, as opposed to the you know, the BR Blue stuff that I don't really care about, honestly. I mean, I kind of like the Class 55 because that runs on the East Coast, or that ran on the East Coast Main Line. Other than that, I'm not the biggest BR Blue fan in the world. But realistically, the only BR Blue train that I really like is the Class 55 and the HST. Well, I mean, I do kind of like the HST and Intercity or in BR Blue, but I also prefer the HST in either GWR or LNER. You know. Well, we're approaching Newcastle. Probably a good idea to slow down, actually. Okay, so it's a bit more. Well, there's a 30, then there's a 20. Yeah, you really can't see much on this route or any route when it's so dark like this, you know. I actually suggested to myself earlier today that, you know, I should instead do the streams at, like, summer, or not summertime, but, you know, just in the daytime so you get to see the scenery. Because you can't really admire the scenery when it's all pitch black. That's some bridge. Let's slow down to 30. Okay, so a little bit more. Ooh, this is an interesting section of track. Well, I call it the track going over there. Okay, did the Kuyu sounds just come right in now? No, it's on that bridge. This is a section of track that goes down there. Oh. We made it to we're almost Newcastle in one piece. Oh, of course, there's a London bus all the way in where's that? Actually, could that bus be acceptable in like other parts of the UK, or is that just trains being stupid? Also, like how the snow on this bridge here. Like how the corner is really sharp. Well, it's supposed to be that way, yeah. Yeah, now I'm just getting the feel for the fact that it's Newcastle. Also, what the heck is this bridge here? That's a very interesting looking bridge. I think I call that AWS before it went off. Yeah, there's like, you know, this part is interesting. And there's a short move down there and then other things. Well, either way, welcome to Newcastle. Which I believe can be a terminus station here on the East Coast Main Line. You know, I guess some trains terminate here, while others might continue all the way to Edinburgh. I'm not sure. Well, here we are at Newcastle. Hey. Okay, well, this is a very windy piece of track. Does the train actually go through the platform? Well, this time, no. This time, the train doesn't actually go through the platform. Well, here we are. bring the train to a stop. Well, that was a really gentle stop by me. Well, we're here in Newcastle. She looks quite pretty. The trackage here is interesting. Oh, it's like how the overhead wires goes right to the bridge. Are you serious? That was an error with the Kuju or the Just Trains one. Oh, I don't know. Guess we have to try to ignore it. Oh well, whatever. Hello, we're in Newcastle, but we don't need to put over yet. Now off to Cramlington. So get your look at Newcastle before, well, we're out of here now. Yeah, so I'm going up to... Is this more of the East Coast Main Line that we're driving on? I don't know, actually. We're about to find out. Come on, we can go faster than this. Yeah. Off to Cramlington. Oh yeah, if trains were going back to London, then I guess they would go on that way. You know? I believe that trains that continue the East Coast Main Line go this way. Also, Newcastle, what you might call it, Cardboard Castle. And once again, there's another Fuji one, yeah. I do believe that some of the assets from this route are used, well, were used on the original York to Newcastle route. Well, now we're seeing a mysterious part of this route. Urban Manors. That's how it's pronounced. I don't actually know. I was like how this station is so close to Newcastle. And also like how the platform here is really short. I'm guessing that's where some local train would stop. Okay, that line, we're fine. I was about to get scared because I thought that red signal was for us, but thankfully it wasn't. Thankfully it wasn't. It was just a troll. What is it? Tone, like, thing? Oh, now it's an 85 speed limit, apparently. Ooh, look at this yard over there. Thing. Let's look how this goes on like a bridge. And then it just ends in midair. Wait, can you actually see that from here? Well, you can. Okay, now I ask, is that realistic? Or, like, does it actually just end like that? It can. Maybe it does. Or maybe Mr. DP Simulation was just lazy. Or maybe you're not even supposed to drive on this part of the route. I don't really know. I don't really know. I'm about to find out. Hey. So, yeah, I guess this would be the final leg of these because we left to Edinburgh. Well, it looks like this East Coast Main Line just ends at Cramlington. Well, it's supposed to end Newcastle, but this route has been extended. Well, this is Heaton. That's what we're coming up on. That's a stay. It's on. What line is that? We have a yard, big yard, which looks quite interesting. Also, that's interesting as well. Yep, this is all interesting stuff to me. Yeah, I believe this would be the final leg of the East Coast Main Line to Edinburgh. Oh wait, we'll stop at Cramlington. Swing this fast because the speed limit suggests it. Oh, yep. Yeah, you're definitely not even supposed to go on this portion of the East Coast Main Line because, as you can see, the scenery disappears. Stuff like that is there. Yeah. Yeah, you're not actually supposed to drive on this part of the route. Yeah, you're like, if you were to drive this properly, you're actually just supposed to terminate at Newcastle. Because, as you know, this part of the route there is no scenery. We're basically just in the middle of nowhere. What to do? You know, if I noticed, I would have actually terminated this at Newcastle, but actually, tell a lie. This is worth the exploration, just to see. All I wonder is, what is the rest of, like, are the other parts of this road like this, the parts that we didn't drive on today, or is it just this? Because, you know, we're not actually supposed to drive this because they're, well, it's supposed to be at Newcastle. You know what I mean? Okay, now I'm starting to wonder if there will be any platforms where we are at Cramlington. Like how there's no scenery. It's just us. Or just me, the train, and the track. Nothing else to see. Oh well. Yeah, just track gets the thing as well. You know, I'm guessing the DP simulation just built this. Like, if you're building a scenario, you can always have trains come from this, or you can always have AI trains come from this part of the route to make it a bit more realistic. You know, the thing about it would have been a bit more grand in this live stream in Newcastle, but I'm like, eh. Oh, I like how that's there as well. Although, unless there's something to see at Cramlington, then it won't be so sausagey. But if not, then yeah. Oh well. You know what? It was worth the exploration, though. It was at least worth coming out here and seeing what this actually looks like. Oh, look. Okay, now the track is a bit shaky. Yeah. Yep. I like how there is no scenery, but yet there are like little crossings here. So there's basically next to no scenery in this part of the line, part of the route. Oh, well, almost like Cramlington. Don't worry. Yep, just coming up on the HUD now, so just get ready to slow down. Or get ready to stop. Have to stop a little bit quicker than that. There we go. Oh, coming up on a bridge. Oh, there's the end of the line. We gotta slow down for the States now. Yeah, we're up in more speed. Oh, you need to go up in more speed? Nah. We'll be fine. I hope. Oh, I like how there's now a bridge here as well. Just a bridge. Nothing more. I'm guessing, you know, that's like there if someone would actually be bought to come to this part of the route and actually add all the details and things. When I'll come up on Cramlington, I actually do. Oh, I see a couple of things there. Let's see if it's actually anything of value, or if it's just more barren wasteland, or. Oh, there are platforms there. I was thinking oh, well, this is Cramlington. It's literally just a few buildings and a few trees. Basically nothing. Alright, you know what? Let's stop at the end of the platform at least. Yeah. I like how there's basically nothing here. And then there's the end of the route. Oh well. Okay, we went a bit far. Yeah. Oh well. And the doors don't even open. Okay. Good thing I said this is the destination marker, not a drop off or not a passenger pickup marker. I guess we'll be standing on the top of this bridge here. Alright, so get our train. Well, I guess that's gonna be the end of today's stream. So, overall, thankfully, this was another successor. We made it from thingy to thingy in one piece without any derailments or anything like that, or any controversy. None of that rubbish. Just a clean journey with no problems at all. And there's a bug walking on mine. Well, with that being said, though, I hope you guys have enjoyed this live stream. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, Merry Winter Holiday!